Top 10 Isekai Romance or Fantasy Anime. Hello and welcome back to The Genius. Today we'll be counting down our list of top 10 Isekai Romance or Fantasy Anime out there. The Isekai genre is insanely popular, but not just because of the success of SAO. There's just an appeal that comes from knowing that the main character is just your average Joe. It almost feels like this could be you. It allows for more relatable characters than the super strong, never scared shonen hero types. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified when we drop our new top 10 videos. And now, let's get started. Number 10. The Devil is a Part-Timer. Starting off this list, we have the reverse Isekai, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Why a reverse Isekai? Because instead of just a normal person suddenly being transported to another realm, the devil himself gets transported to the human world. Since the devil is in this new world with no magic, he takes on a human form and works as a part-timer in order to survive. What he doesn't know, however, is that he's not the only one who had to do this, and the story unfolds as he meets more people of his kind. Some friends, but some enemies as well. The anime is full of moral dilemmas and philosophical conflicts, so if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to give it a watch. Number 9. KonoSuba. At number 9, we have the one and only KonoSuba. This is one of the funniest anime you'll ever watch, no question about it. After dying a pathetic and laughable death on his way back from buying a video game, Kazuma opens his eyes and sees a blue-haired goddess by the name of Aqua. He gets two options: either he continues on to heaven, or he reincarnates in a real fantasy world and fulfills every gamer's dream. You can guess what he chooses, and the story starts from that point on, with him gaining a crew of girls with different abilities. The only problem is, they all suck. It's a refreshing take of the genre and we need more anime like it. Number 8. No Game, No Life. While we're on the subject of video games, at number 8 we have No Game, No Life. This anime is about two elite gamers who are actually step-siblings and are considered the best in the world. They're both known as Blank. They get a suspicious email, and as soon as they read it, they're transported into a world that's run by games. Every corner of this world is filled with different games, and this is the only form of combat. In this world, there are a huge number of games that you can play, ranging from coin tossing to Harry Potter-like chess, and they always resemble games from the real world but with way higher life-threatening stakes. Since the two are already pro gamers, they manage their way into this world in the most badass way possible. It's a thrill to watch as they keep winning their way to the top. If you like games in general, there's absolutely no way you won't enjoy this anime. Number 7. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Moving on to number 7, we have another person who gets brought back to life after death. A normal human death in the normal human world. His name is Satoru Mikami, and the difference here is that while he's also reincarnated into a fantasy world, he's reincarnated as a creature known as a slime. With his new form and new abilities, he has to figure out not only what to do in this world, but how to survive as well. This world is filled with crazy monsters that would eat anything and anyone, so he develops the ability Predator, which allows him to use the abilities of different monsters he devours. This of course makes him incredibly overpowered, and he manages to tame all the monsters in the land and make them his allies. This catches the attention of nearby lands, and while some wish to join him, others decide to face him, and this makes for some insanely interesting battles and action. Make sure to try it out if you haven't. Number 6. Overlord. Overlord exploded when it got released, and it's one of the most viewed isekai anime to ever come out. It fully utilizes the isekai trope as the main character is stuck in a game that's shut down, and while that doesn't sound like anything new, Overlord explores way different concepts and ideas over this than shows like SAO or Log Horizon, for example. In this world, the NPCs have come to life as well, and it isn't so much that he's stuck in the game, more like the world of the game became a real world, inside of which he's one of the strongest people. This makes for some of the best overpowering scenes, as well as some deep philosophical ideas that are being explored, and overall make for a pretty great anime. Also, the animation is insanely well done, so if you haven't watched it, be sure to give it a watch. Number 5. Log Horizon. Yet another video game related anime, we have Log Horizon. This anime is about an incredibly successful video game that is about to release its latest expansion, and people are hyped to see what new things will be released. Everyone who wanted to catch the first moments of the release, well, basically everyone who was logged in at the time of the release, suddenly couldn't log out and was transported into a real world of the video game where they are all their avatars. Sounds familiar? The story follows Shiroe, who tries to figure out new ways to deal with the dangers of this new world that is more than real, and if they die, they die. Shiroe gathers some friends and forms a party to have more of a chance of crushing it in this world. While there are several anime out there with a similar story, Log Horizon is considered one of the classics in the Isekai genre because while it has the same premise as shows like SAO and Overlord, they each explore different ideas and handle the old character in a new world trope in a different way. Some people even go as far as calling it the Game of Thrones of Isekai. Number 4. Rising of the Shield Hero. Naofumi is a normal guy, but after checking out a book, he gets sent to a world along with 3 others. Today, they're the 4 cardinal heroes chosen by the kingdom of Melromark in order to save it. These 4 heroes are the hero of the sword, the bow, the spear, and of course, the shield. Naofumi is chosen as the shield hero and has it way harder than all the others. He gets set up and framed for abusing women and stealing. He also can't level up because he can't equip weapons other than a shield. He gains a party member after a while and she ends up being the sword while he's the shield, and they both gain half the experience. Soon enough, he shows the other 3 heroes that he's just as strong as they are and gets acknowledged by the kingdom. And I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but in the end, justice is served. This is one of the more interesting animes that have been released recently, so be sure to give it a watch if you still haven't. Number 3. Inuyasha. Starting off the top 3, we have Inuyasha, an anime that has long proven itself a classic among anime and is one of those old school gems you just have to watch if you're a real anime lover. Kogame Higurashi, a 15-year-old girl, has her life turned upside down when a demon drags her 500 years into the past by getting her to jump inside a well. Instead of hitting the bottom, they arrive in the past during times that were violent and full of other demons as well. It turns out she has a special wish-granting gem inside of her, and that's why the demon had her come with him to this world. Unfortunately, during a battle, the jewel shatters and they have to gather a crew in order to find all the pieces so that they don't fall into the wrong hands. It's one of those must-watch anime for every self-respecting anime fan. Kinda just like this YouTube channel. Number 2. ReZero. Here we have another great isekai anime. It's about a guy called Subaru Natsuki who is unemployed and suddenly gets summoned to a fantasy world. When he arrives, he befriends a half-elf called Emilia, who is a candidate to be the new ruler of the Lagunica Kingdom. But while trying to help her, he dies just moments after arriving in this new world. After dying, he instantly revives a few hours before his demise, and he learns he has the power to turn back time after his death. Since Emilia was so nice to him, he decides to help her further and protect her by dying many times to turn back time before she was hurt. He suffers a lot as this has severe consequences on his health, and he tries to find different ways to use this crazy new power he's got. One of the best new animes and one of the best stories to come out of recent series. It's still running at the time of recording this video, so you're in for a long run if you decide to watch it. Number 1. Sword Art Online. Was there really any doubt that this anime wouldn't be taking the number 1 spot? SAO is another one of those stuck in a video game with only one way out series. But here, the only way out is to beat the game. The players of the game in this anime have been tricked into logging into the game with a special VR headset that is attached basically to their brain. And if anyone in the outside world tries to remove this headgear, they're killed instantly. So the only way out for them is for them to beat the game. Kirito, who is an insanely talented gamer, decides to finish the game and save thousands of lives, and has some of the most badass fights in anime with his dual-wielding abilities. SAO is the anime that made the biggest impact on the genre as it was the most successful one, and while some people dislike the romance aspect of it, it's still the perfect example of an isekai romance fantasy anime out there. And there you have it guys, that was our top 10 isekai romance fantasy anime list. Did you agree with it? If not, be sure to tell us your top 10 list in the comments down below. Also, be sure to tell us what other top 10 anime you'd like us to do next. That's all for this video, and see you in the next one, fellow geniuses.